we're looking at them from a perspective of, being on a commercial job site and not necessarily residential. So that's what we're going to be doing. And in no particular order, we're just going to be holding some tools up and letting you guys know what kind of spark this would be. We just picked up a pair of Kleins here. I've used these for more than half of my career as a construction electrician. You can pick these up for $10 right now on Amazon. And why these are so good is because they go up to number 8. They're fairly compact, so they fit just about everywhere. And they have skinnier wire loops here. They're just really user friendly, man. They fit in your hand really nicely. And they're just iconic. They just do what they do very well. It's almost like an extension of your hand. Very comfortable, easy to manipulate, all the things. Highly recommend these. I'm going to be doing my best to keep up with the chat during this. I recently ran into these Crocs here from Racketeers. You don't need this V cutter here. This is for splicing or splitting Romex. But they do number 8 here. And you're going to see this side here says stranded. This side here, let's see here, stranded. Yeah, these are stranded only. These are commercial. They don't have a solid and stranded side. They only do stranded. Same with these. They don't specify whether you can only do stranded or solid. They don't even care. If you look at some of these Milwaukees and stuff, they're going to say solid on this side, stranded on this side. And they got your numbers. These are professional grade where it's at. So with these, Milwaukee's fine, but when it comes down to what you're actually doing, you want number 8 strippers, rooftop units, things like that. You need number 8. So we got a boulder bag here. This is the ultimate boulder bag, not to be confused with the, what are they called? They got the ultimate and they got the pro, and they got a bunch of different series of boulder bags. So we're going to be loading up this boulder bag as we go. So you may as well go grab yourself a beer or whatever you got. Kick back and figure out what a professional electrician that's been doing this since 2007 uses. Someone went to school, maybe 2006. 36 now. Let me check the chat here. YouTube puts it on top messages, not all messages. I don't know why. Okay. So we got our strippers in here. You can see the layout of this boulder bag. You can see why I would highly recommend this one. It's just got one of the better layouts that money can buy. And if you are in construction, you might occasionally see somebody wearing one of these. You might see somebody wearing one of these. But pretty much everybody on the job site is expected to have something along the lines of this, whether it's a Klein or a boulder bag. And they do have one of these. They just keep all their tools in it. And then they'll rock a smaller kind of go pouch. So if you ask me, I recently came across one of the better tough builds that I think I've ever seen. It's got so many numbers on it. I'm gonna have to find the paper for exactly what it is. It is the TBCT 36L7 right there. Not bad for a pouch to kind of have everything on you. And I like that it flexes, as one of my subscribers mentioned the other day. Matt pointed out that this one actually does flex, which is pretty rare for tough built to do. Pretty nice. Now, what are we going to put all this in? We can put in a pack out. We can put it in a number of things. If you don't know, the name of the game with construction is stairs. So at some point, you're going to have to go upstairs if you want to drag your pack out and all that stuff, you know, constantly up the stairs. That is up to you. Sorry, I'm still trying to tighten this tripod. It's kind of fighting me. We've got the Tough System 2.0 here from DeWalt. And this is what you're probably going to have. You're going to have something similar to this. But you're going to put all your hand tools in, all your power tools in, and your tool bag. And yeah, we're going to be loading this up too. So there's your intro. Now we're just going to be looking at tools. What they do, what's good, what to buy, what not to buy. Picked up this Flex SDS for less than $100 the other day. Flex makes some nice tools. So we got this. This is going in the bag. We also picked up the 107 from DeWalt. I feel like the Flex could possibly be better just based on the speed and everything. But the fact that we can get power stack batteries on here. So if you don't know, a power stack battery is very tiny. This is a 12-volt battery. This is a power stack battery, 20 volts here, 12 volts here. They've come a really long way with their technology. I like to take advantage of that. So the fact that we can get a tiny battery on this drill is pretty cool. Lots of power here. Let me see here. YouTube's had some weird chat stuff lately. Trying to keep up with the chat. Okay, so we're going to throw that in there. We've got the DCF 850 here. I like the 850 because it's pretty much the same size as all the other 12-volt tools when you really look at it. I showed you how small the battery is. It just makes sense to where you don't necessarily need a more compact tool. This 12-volt surge is actually heavier than this 850. So as far as like what makes sense to carry on you all the time, it's hard not to go with the 850. It honestly is. So it's going to go in here too. There it is. Let's talk about beading screwdrivers. Klein recently came up with some beading screwdrivers that take the SDS handles. I don't really recommend those because at the end of the day, it's still not a screwdriver. And then we get the luxury of adding a reamer to our screwdriver. And then I've beaten the crap out of these for years. They're $10. After beating on this for many years, you might return it once this finally starts rounding off. And this will eventually round off. Give it about 4 or 5 years. Just go buy another one and then just rinse and repeat. Fantastic quality and durability from a screwdriver. Not even really a beater. Seems like when you buy a beater, the end caps, they get what you call mushroom flare outs and stuff. And they're prone to shooting off shards of metal and all kinds of different things. What's up, Kansas? What's up, Jonathan? I prefer to beat on something a little bit not so metal myself. It's a little bit quieter. This gets the job done. I don't have anything bad to say about these Klein. I do have something to say about the actual reamers. Don't recommend it. I haven't met a really good reamer yet. At one point, I'm trying to think what brand that was. You could buy it at Home Depot. It had a number 3 Phillips, and it had a probably a 1/2-inch blade. It was 2 demo drivers. And what's up, Noah? Yeah, man, Tool Talk is what I live for. So I think it was Stanley, man. Stanley, they had a red ring and a blue ring. And they had a metal cap on them, and they actually lasted really good. They were pretty decent. I used them for a long time. Yeah, the Milwaukee reamer one, nice, nice. I beat the crap out of this. Like this Milwaukee right here, the blades and stuff are actually legit. We pounded into a screw with a 5-pound one hand sledgehammer, just trying to obliterate this thing. And we couldn't do it. This is a really, really decent quality tool. Now, what I did, I took my sander and I rounded this off because Milwaukee sort of doesn't know how to make us good screwdrivers. So I had to get away from the sharp edges. If you guys know, you know. It just wasn't comfortable turning. So I rounded this off myself with sandpaper. And these tips are actually decent. So if you're looking for a good beater, really lightweight, like probably one of the lighter ones that you're going to find. All this stuff adds up when you're carrying it all day. So yes, weight does matter. Not being a sissy, weight makes a huge difference when you have 30 plus tools with you all the time. This is actually really decent for Milwaukee. I don't like Milwaukee hand tools, so when I say something's decent for Milwaukee, you can trust me. We're going to stick one of these here. We're going to go with the Klein, though, because I like the Klein more. It's got my reamer on it, and it's a beater, and I beat on these for my whole career. Never had any issues, so I don't see the need to switch. That being said, we do have the vessel here, and the vessel is isolated with a little ball there, so you can't get shocked when you make contact with something. But it's got a lot of metal, and this isn't truly insulated, and it's also not got the flat shank there for a reamer. So we're going to go with the Klein one. We're going to stick it right there for now. Let me see the chat. Listen to 4 Big Guys by Digbar. Okay. Got the chat working for you. Nice, nice. I bought the Ethernet cable tester kit, the Scout Pro 3. That's a nice. I've had the 2 before. I had to throw it all away, but just my situation, I had to throw it away. I had a crazy situation. Yes, your messages are going through. Seems like YouTube, the latency is a little bit slower lately with everything. So I can see you guys' messages now. What's up, Shroosh? Is everyone doing okay? Yeah, what's up, Shroosh? I actually picked up a new Knipex tool. I might have somebody go get it for me so I can show you guys here in a second. And I'm probably, honestly, I'm going to turn my flex fan on, which is over there in the corner. So hang tight for 2 seconds. Hey, Lily, can you get the Knipex tool in a box that's on my bed, please? Yeah, we're plugging in this flex fan right now. So quiet here, man. If you guys don't know about the flex fan, maybe I'll show you later if you guys remind me. Okay, do you need a label maker as an electrician? Yes, for industrial especially. For average construction, you're not going to be needing this until the end of the job. I don't recommend you guys get a label maker. Thank you so much. Can you close that door? Thank you. Thanks, baby. Don't need a label maker unless you are actively doing industrial and you're labeling for PLCs and things like that as you go. You typically don't label anything in commercial construction if you're doing really anything until the end. You're going to note it on the plans of what you did with it. You might write duct tape on your MC. You're going to be using a lot of Sharpies and a lot of duct tape to label your MC. Things like that. You're not really going to need a label maker. If you're a supervisor, that's when you get your label maker. This one's fairly new to Klein. They came out with one similar to it not that long ago. I saw it in the NECA, the tester from Klein set, apprentice tool set. Nice, nice. Hey, what's up, Annie? Anime? B? Did you do CSP on your way out? I don't know what CSP is. Hey, Tactics, what's going on, Sayer? Big thanks to all the moderators here. Happy Saturday, yeah. So this one's hollow, guys, which is really cool. It cuts down on the weight by like more than half. And then you've got magnets built in, fully hollow. You can do your 1/4 inch and your 3/8 hardware, which means your 9/16 nuts. What's the best digital clamp meter for commercial? Depends on what you're doing, man. Are you doing hot work? Are you troubleshooting? What are you doing? If you are a construction electrician for commercial, the best multimeter that you can get is this. Because it's not going to fail you. You're not going to be confused on the readings. It's not going to have any decimals. It's skinny enough. You're not doing hot work anyway. If you're a commercial electrician, you're going to get fired. They're really, really strict on that, man. You see a lot of people on YouTube do hot work and stuff. The amount of work and planning that goes into actually doing hot work before you can perform it is so high. If you're a maintenance person, or if you are a troubleshooter or a service technician or something like that, completely different story. But if you are a commercial electrician in construction, for what you're going to be doing, this is going to be the best multimeter for you. T5600, yeah, that's what this is. Do you need the T6? Everyone asks me, do I need the T6? The T6 has something called Field Sense, which tells you, it kind of get based off of the electromagnetic field of the intensity. It's like, oh, hey, we have 480 volts. We might have 277. We might have this. If you're labeling your boxes properly, or, hey, how about test before you touch? You know, I can't see, and I can't think of a scenario where someone competent would need field sense on a multimeter, other than just opening up random boxes that aren't labeled at all. That'd be more of a maintenance person, more than or a technician, or for a service call. If you're doing testing, if you're doing installing of any type, anything like that, you're not going to be needing field sense. 100% right about the Kinepex 4 strippers. I got them for Christmas and nearly bend loops not open on them enough. Yeah, man. I think I just made that video. It's why we start. So we're gonna put this up here for now. But yeah, we talked about the strippers. Is the first thing that we talked about. A lot of people like these wire strippers. My biggest 3 complaints, man, they're forged, so they're gonna last a long time. I've never personally had strippers last me long enough for it to matter, dude. I learned a long time ago you only can cut copper. So if you only cut copper, these should stay sharp. If you're gonna cut anything else other than copper, you get your Kleins or you get your rabbit ears, right? So it's cool these can, but this is more of a overseas install where they have cord and things like that. We're not really doing too much cord. You're not doing too much tray cable, things like that. This is definitely an industrial kind of style. The loops are very thick. You can see how deep you got to get in there to put a loop. So if you're new to what we're talking about, let me see if I got some wire here. I got some somewhere. Here's some, but I don't really want to. Yeah, I do. So if we're going to make a wire loop here, I guess we'll strip it. See, I got to look at these because I don't use them too often. Solid, stranded. It matters too, right? So solid or stranded is printed on there. And then if you want to do your loop, you got to stick it through there and you close them. You have to close them because you got to get that backstop. See how there's nothing behind there? When I close it, you get a backstop. And then you can loop it around, but it's a wider loop. And the loop starts where the insulation is. So if you want a really good loop, right now your screw is going to be sitting on the insulation. Just like that. There's almost no way around it. If we take these brand new Kleins, which I have not even just popped the cherry on them just now. And we take these, and these don't say stranded or solid. They only say stranded on there. So if we take these right here and we strip, so example would be this is a number 12 solid, and you can see where we're not able to really strip the number 12 solid. So these are a professional's tools. This is for commercial or industrial. You're not going to be using solid wire very often. One of the last churches I did, I used solid a little bit. But most of the time you're going to be using stranded. I want to take that back a little bit. So there's your strip right there. We can start bending a nice, beautiful loop right here. And you can see where you're going to get your real estate. Your screw is going to be more on the copper versus not on the copper. Here. There's your difference. There's your difference there. That's the Knipex loop. That's the Klein loop. So you can see the difference in the loops. If you're doing this for a living and you're trying to make loops quick, whatever you're doing, it adds up. I'm just going to say. Next complaint would be, I don't like how I'm adding a new motion to my hands. You guys don't understand the amount of abuse you're going to put on your hands when you get into this trade. You're going to see a lot of older guys that are just kind of putting along, and they're still getting stuff done, but they're kind of taking their time, right? That'd be me right now if I was back in construction. I'm telling you right now, I don't need this motion added to my list of things to do that I never needed to do before. The less that we do with our hands, guys, the better off we are. I hate to say it. It sounds like a wimpy thing to say from somebody in the field, especially someone my age coming from me. I take back a lot of things I said about older people. Whenever I was in the field, I was always a motivator. I was like, come on, guys, we can do better. We can do this. We can. Yeah, man. I take it all back, guys. It all adds up. And this right here, see, I'm having to open that up to get it open because that's where it naturally sits. You can barely get wire in there. It goes in there, but only barely. Anything else bigger than that, it's not going to go. We don't need this motion added to our list of motions that we already do. So these already bounce open. They're wide open. These have a shear and cut design. They kind of close on top of each other, which is really nice. And then they're just ready to strip and cut and do all the things you want to do. But the Crocs are nice, man, because it doesn't matter whether you're stranded or solid. They work on both sides. And then you can get a loop. Easy, easy, easy. Crocs are great, man. I put these V cutters on here for a video. I'm probably going to take them off. I don't like these. Your blue Klein strippers, I used to have the glow-in-the-dark ones, but lost it. I'm sorry, it's hilarious you lost the glow in the dark ones, man. I've lost so many freaking tools. That sucks though, man. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I like the blue ones too. I can tell you right now, these strip better than most clients, pretty much all the clients. These strip, like they absolutely strip like a dream. Here's some MC on the floor. Let me grab it. This is actually healthcare facility cable. You can tell because it's green. And you can see how mangled this wire is, right? Most people in their right mind would try to straighten this out a little bit more, but we're not. We're just going to go for it and see if we can strip it. Let's see if we can get it. It's getting a little bit hung up, but it's going to go. You just got to follow all the curves. There you go. You can't do that with Kleins. Like, that's insane. I don't know if you guys realize that. That's not easy to do. Years of experience, but also, in this case, the tool definitely helps. Another really good stripper, like I can try to do it with the Kleins, but it's just not. I'll go up here with the Kleins, and you can see where it's kind of getting hung up, even on the straight. Not even as much. You can see where it's starting to kind of grab right there too with the Kleins. And I love these. But if you grab these, and I hate to recommend these because it's Milwaukee, but if you take these Milwaukees here, we can go even further back. And the Milwaukee strip even better than the Crocs, which is pretty crazy. The Milwaukees are actually legit. Needle nose too. Needle nose and shearing cut. These things will cut 6'3". So yeah, it is what it is, man. I can't help it. I don't want to like these, but I like them. So we got our choice of strippers here. I'm going to go with the Crocs based on the number 8 alone. Klein tools, only for myself, DeWalt. I was tempted to buy the Milwaukee ones, but I only buy new tools when I need to. If you're doing number 10 and 12, man, the Milwaukees are honestly where it's at, because they they do replace your needle nose. So something to think about there. And you get the shearing. These are nice. They are really nice. We're going to stick the Crocs right here. Right there. And then that's what we're loading up. So you can see why we picked this pouch. It's got some of the best layout in the industry. Next up, we're going to need a pair of Kleins. Now, I don't know if you guys caught one of the lives. We literally beat the piss out of both pairs. We beat up the Milwaukees and we beat up the Kleins. And I beat them with a bender. I beat them with a 3-pound, single-pound sledgehammer, single handle. I beat the crap out of both pairs of pliers. The Kleins did not survive. These did. You can see where I just beat the crap out of them for no reason. Even slammed a bender on them. Go back and watch the live if you don't believe me. I like these. I like the Kleins. I like how far away they are. They're a nice length. I call them Kleins because habit. I like the Milwaukees. I prefer Klein just because it's Klein. I gave away my last pair of Kleins to somebody in need. So I don't have Kleins to show you guys tonight. But these are also good. Lyman's. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, sir. So we're going to stick these probably in here, because as you wear this, just like when you're carrying concrete, right? You have more leverage closer to your body. You get less wear and tear on your hips and everything. Shout out Stuff with Aiden. What's up? Shout out to Stuff with Aiden. You want to put the weight closer to your body as you load this up. So these are particularly heavy. I'm going to put these as close to my body as possible. And that's usually how I do my loadouts, is just based on the weight and how it's all. You live that? Yeah. More, yeah, side cutters. Yeah, exactly. Side cutters. Here's a hot topic here. What razor knife? What razor knife do I trust the most? Where is my Milwaukee? All right. So, I've actually got a couple. Hang on. I got one more razor knife. Okay. So, first off, DeWalt came out with a new razor knife. The button to push it is back here. It's here. It's not up here where it's natural. It's down here where it pinches your fingers to use it. And then if you want to throw it, you got to grab this portion here so you don't throw the knife. You got to hold it here too. For that reason, DeWalt is out. This is the most natural one here. You push this button. It's not snapping shut. You got to get the one with the blade storage, because not having sharp blades is more dangerous than having blades that are too sharp. You get it with the magnetic storage. It's hard to go wrong with the fastback. I don't need the fancy screwdriver and all the crap with it. It's hard to beat this. I've been using this for too long and it hasn't failed me. So hard to say anything else. What do I prefer? I prefer the all trade knife with the squeeze lever down here. And when you squeeze it, it shoots the blade out. It's a thick knife. It has a lot of rubberized up here, and it gives you a lot of space to really push when you're stripping, large wire and stuff. I really, really like the all trade. I'm trying this one out because it's long. It gives me, can you ask me something? Yeah, what's up? I like this one because it gives me a lot of room to grab here, and it keeps the blade, which is not even installed. Nor is it installed there. Let me get a blade. There we go. Yeah. Keeps your fingers away from the knife edge. What's my favorite movie for Halloween? I had to think about that. I'd have to think about that. Give me a second. I mean, I like the Michael Myers and Jasons personally. Friday the 13th, all the old school stuff. I like this knife. It's just better. It's just better. This is nice. You always have it on you. It's always on your pocket. When it comes down to actually using a knife and really using it a lot, this is better. If you're cutting floor tiles, if you're whatever you're doing, man, this is a better knife. But for the weight and always having it on you and it always being in your pocket for construction, we got to go with the fastback. When you start terminating, you go with a bigger knife. Always, always, always. Now, I recently bought some more diagonals. My idea, right? I'm going to put flannel on these. That way I can call them dikes on a live stream and get away with it. But these are called your diagonals. And What's really good about your diagonals, man, is that you can really get in boxes and stuff. So you want the angled ones. And the angled ones act like a free fulcrum. What bag? I'm using the boulder bag. The ultimate. The ultimate's hard to beat. So yeah, you get the free nail puller, you get the free staple puller. If you got a staple too tight, this is what you use. Gator bags are so good, man. I've got my gator bags here. The belt is definitely good. This layout makes more sense than a gator bag all day. So when we look at the layout of a gator bag, they completely stole gator bag's three pocket here, but you've got 4 large pockets, and really these tools don't even disrupt each other. So most of your weight's here by your hip. I can pull this out and put this one behind it, and pull this one out and put this one behind it without really obstructing the other tools. So this just has more storage. And then some of these vary in height. So not all these are the same depth, wherein you really go for like your Tapcon 5/16 driver storage and all that stuff. Something iconic about the Kleins. How do you stay cool in attics? You don't. You don't. You get so sweaty that the littlest breeze makes you feel comfortable. You plan your route to where you're not going to be in the attic as much, or you tell the customer, hey, I'm cutting your freaking ceiling out. Like, some stuff's just not worth it, man. Gator bags do last for a long time. That's very true, EA. Gator bags last a long time. When it comes down to layout and tool storage, now that we've got these pouches involved, especially this pouch particularly, I can see myself where I would put this on my hip, keep all my tools inside here. Because when you go to a job site, right, you've got what you call a gang box, where everyone just kind of shares the same box and all your tools are just out. So late to the stream, what was the brand of the tool belt? It's Boulder Bag. Made in the USA. Right there. It's called Boulder Bag. And the main reason why this bag is so good is because it has this little satchel here, and I'll show you this later. But back whenever I started in the trades, man, you couldn't get away with having a satchel or a man purse on the side of your pouch. But now that the whole climate has kind of changed as far as what's socially acceptable, we can have a little satchel on our tool bag now. And honestly, it's kind of convenient. What's up, Shaka? So we were talking about this earlier. This does pretty much everything you want to do. That's the hollow nut driver. It's way better than the non-hollow. This thing is so much better than the non-hollow nut driver. You don't know what you're missing out. If you're still rocking the non-hollow nut driver a lot and you don't have this, man, I feel sorry for you. It is so good. What I did, I only kept the sizes that I needed. I threw away the 7/32 or whatever it is that also fits on the other side. And you've got every size that you could ever need on this thing, which is really nice. So we're going to put this. What? I can give her a hug. You can see where this just goes right in there. And it's trained for it. That's a big shank to get on there too. But it will go all the way in there. There it is there. That's a done deal. Good night.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
I just wanted my friend.
Okay, love you. She knows what she's doing. Haven't seen those yet. This is something that a younger generation guy, one of my helpers, showed me. He had the Milwaukee ones when they first came out, and he was using these, and I kind of made fun of him for having vice grips. But then we were building racks side by side. We're on the scissor lift, you know, he's on his side, I'm on my side, and we're putting up strut racks. And he takes this thing and he clamps it to the all thread and just starts spinning the nuts, and you know, it has an extra hand. And I'm over here, I got the, you know, whenever you got you're building a rack, you get, you know, you just muscle memory, right? So you're holding the rack here like this on this arm while you're holding this in the air, while you're spinning the all thread and doing all the things, you know. And this dude's over here just smiling away, got two hands able to work on the rack. And it made me realize he might be onto something. So these are useful if you're doing a lot of racks, but that's about it. But it's kind of like a, you know, third hand. I don't know where I'm going to put these yet. I'm going to throw them in the front for now. So then we've got the tenon ones, the flips, the screwdrivers. Which one do you get? I dig the clip light on your hat. What brand is that? This is a microphone. But Olight makes some really nice lights that'll clip to your hat and do different things. The pre-run is a really good one. Definitely not a broom. Yeah. Going back into the electrical trade next year. Looking forward to it. Nice, nice. Shows humility, learning from a helper. Dude, if you don't got humility, man, you don't. That pouch looks good for number books, labeling circuits, and commercial. Yeah, that's actually exactly what's in there. Is that's exactly what's in here is a number book. And it has a little spot exactly for it too. All right, so if you're a technician, you possibly are going to do hot work, your maintenance, your homeowner, whatever it is, dude, get this freaking screwdriver. This thing is so good. It flips. When you blow it up, you just go buy another one of these. This thing stays with you. You can do it one-handed if you need to. So I'm going to hold this here just to kind of keep it. No, I'm not. I'm just going to flip it. I'm just going to flip it in my hand because you can flip it, because every once in a while you'll need to flip this thing because you're holding something with this hand, right? So every once in a while you'll get in that position where, you know, you can't do anything else, but hand's still over here, I guess. Having a hard time getting in the hole. There we go. But yeah, you can actuate this thing with one hand and flip it around pretty comfortably if you need to. I've gotten good at it because I've had to do it a couple of times. But pretty cool, pretty needed actually. Really, really nice tool. Commercial doesn't need this. You won't be using this commercial. If you're thinking about controls or something, there's better terminating screwdrivers in this Klein. Tracing out lost neutral or hot ability to work live circuits is a must for the service electricians. Yeah, we traced out a neutral the other day with this tester and showed how if you lose your neutral but you hook up to the ground properly, you're still good, which shows the importance of the ground. But this is the ET450. And very similar to setting up a toner. Now this screwdriver kind of caught me off guard. I threw away the smaller Torx because we're just not going to use it. And then now you can put this in your pocket and not stab your leather seats or whatever you're doing. I use this every day. There's not a day that I don't use this. Let's talk about the wear and tear, okay? You can see that there's a bump here. You see that bump? I think it's from rolling this around. So the handle does roll around. Just like, you know, you hear the horror stories of Klein and the handle rolling around. Let me show you. You can see where it's coming apart. And I'm not particularly happy about it. But it kind of goes back to where it needs to, and it kind of gets some air behind it, and it's nice and comfortable, and it's grippy. It's kind of irritating when it spins on me, but man, the tips on this thing are just so good. If you look at the tip on this, you can see where they're really parallel. And make no mistake about it, man, these things are made for terminating. They don't taper. So your standard construction screws and stuff tapers pretty aggressively. These don't really taper. They're completely different shape than most of your drivers. I wouldn't recommend putting them on your impact or anything. But you can see here where even the Phillips, the square, the Robertson there, is completely parallel up and down. And it fits on those electrical screws like really good. Don't know if I have one here handy. That's okay. For terminating, yeah, also it's got a leaf spring in here. It doesn't have a ball detent. So it grabs just in a really unique way. For commercial, do you need this? I don't know. It's nice. It's really nice. It's really nice. The knurling is nice. Everything about this thing is nice. I don't know if this one makes sense. Makes a little bit of sense. My to-go screwdriver was always a 10-in-1 or 11-in-1. And you get the 10, or you get the 11 or the 9-in-1 because of the 3/8. Because every once in a while you'll have a stretch strap, you'll have something you need a 3/8 for. This is technically more of a 9-in-1 because you got the 5/16 here, and then you got the 3/8 here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 9-in-1. The 11-in-1 has the same thing, except it has a smaller slot there, and then it has 2 more bits on the top. So this is a 9-in-1. Either way, if you're gonna get one, don't get the 10-in-1 because you miss out on the 3/8. The 9 and 11 have it. The trade from codes, tools, arc fault, GOCI has changed so much from when you started in the 80s. Yeah, man, it's freaking codes, man. I think 2014 was probably one of the, the NEC just constantly changes. I'm actually an electrical inspector, so I can tell you the NEC changes a lot. It changes a lot. I've been inspecting since 2017, and not private, like fully accredited, not a home inspector. We use too many damn tools. Yeah, we do, man. Have 100+ O-lights. I just got the Seeker 4 and it's great. I love my Seeker 4. Use it every day. I use this every day, and I use my Seeker 4 every day. I've only used my Seeker 4 for a week now, but I've used this every day since I bought it, which is a couple of months now, 3 or 4. So I like the shape of this. One of these makes sense to have based on the price and what it is. I would probably still go with one of these just because it has a 5/16. If Klein would make this some kind of custom size and it was 5/16 here, and they made these where you couldn't put them in an impact to F them up, and they were 5/16 as well, you would have a 5/16 with some of the best bits, shapes, like on tap. It would be a force to be reckoned with. That's my 2 cents. So probably still going to go with a 9-in-1 just based on the price, or an 11-in-1, because you're just going to lose the pieces anyway. That's what you do with an 11-in-1. Over 100 changes, yeah. So I'm probably still going to go with an 11-in-1 for my daily screwdriver. Now, what reamer? If you're making up a lot of joints, man, this thing comes in handy. It comes in really, really handy. If you're doing set screw couplings, this thing comes in even handier because you can't fall off because you kind of got a cup that keeps you on the fastener. But depending on how many you're doing, man, you're just going to pull out your impact anyway, put a Robertson on there and go to town. But if you're doing a lot of joints, this thing comes in handy. Not a must. The levels. You never really know what situation you're going to be in, so you're probably going to need a light wherever you go. I like a lighted level for construction. I don't use my lighted level that often unless I'm really inside. But I use this a lot around the house because it helps me see. And it's, you know, just bigger. But in general, you're going to want a level like this. And if you don't know, this is basically the little Savage from Swanson with Klein's logo on it. Just look up Swanson and save yourself close to $20. Just go on Amazon and get a Swanson level. It's the exact same thing. Swanson makes Klein's levels, but I do like the Klein. Buy it because it says Klein, whatever. How many tools do I have? Too many to count. I don't even know. What laser level do I use? I had a company send me this one. So what I usually use is a PLS, which is Pacific Laser Systems. And I had a PLS 180 for a long time. But now we've got these green lasers and not red. Hey, man, I appreciate that, Mark. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. This is not a special laser at all, but it works. It just depends on what you're doing. Here's the deal with lasers, okay? I'm going to draw it on the board. What's my favorite tool? My favorite tool is this right here. These. These right here. The J2158CRs from Klein. They probably couldn't have made this any better. If they tried to change this in any way to make it better, they would probably mess it up. You got your cross hatching for making up joints. You can see how much I've used this damn thing. Got your cross hatching for making up joints right there. You get a good grip. You get all the stripping capabilities. You get all of the cutting. You get the weight that you need for a beater. You got your crimper. You've got your shears to cut your longer screws when you hit tile. Man, this one's good. This one's good, man. It's hard to beat this thing. This thing does everything well. It doesn't just do it a little bit okay. It does it all very good. Yeah, these are the new hybrids. These are amazing. You want 125 or you want 250? This is what you want. I've got a board. Hopefully I've got a Sharpie. I want a Sharpie. I don't want a Sharpie. I want a Expo. Let me go grab an Expo because I don't have one handy. Darn. Might grab a beer too. I don't have one of those handy. Hang on. Change your mind. I want this one. We want this one. Okay. All right, got my Sharpies. Got my beer. It's a twist. It's not a twist off. We got to use our Sharpie to open it. There we go. Okay. When you have a laser, this is what everyone's going to tell you. They say you only need one laser because it's a line, right? Shoots a line. Here's the deal with lasers. You need two lasers. You need a plumb bob laser and you need this laser. Okay. If this is your grid, not your grid, your angle iron above you, and we're trying to line up, I gotta move the camera down here. Okay, there we go. Okay. We're looking up and we're trying to get lights lined up perfectly straight, whatever we're doing. You're going to want to measure off of the wall. This is the wall here. You're going to want to measure off the wall. Let's say we go 30 feet this way. Okay. You're going to take your plumb bob here. And you're going to put it right here and you're going to aim it up. Then you're going to go down 30 feet here on the same wall. Here. And you're going to go 30 feet here. And you're going to take this laser and you're going to shine it up. And you're going to match the plumb bob on the ceiling because you can't see the floor when you're 50 feet away. It's impossible. You can't see the floor. The floor is flat. You're 50 feet away. You're not going to see the mark on the floor. So if you're going to do this by yourself like a professional, you get a plumb bob laser. You put your plumb bob 30 feet off the wall. You make a mark 30 feet off the wall down here. And then you look up while moving this laser on your 30-foot line and line this laser up with the dot on the ceiling. When you buy a laser that has a plumb bob built in with a cross level line, you just wasted money. Because at the end of the day, you still need another plumb bob laser. Hope that makes sense. So when you buy these things and they have plumb bobs built on them, it's kind of useless if you think that you're going to kill two birds with one stone. By the way, I had one of these go out on me not that long ago. They sent me one like a year ago. I had it go out on me. And instead of reaching out to the company and complaining, we just destroyed it live and told you guys not to buy one. They reached out and sent me another one. This one's still going strong. So I think for like $30, this last SKU, they stand behind their product is what I'm trying to say. If I had reached out to them and told them what was going on, they probably would have just sent me another one. So if you do buy this, I don't feel like you're going to get stuck with something that's broken. They stand behind their product. All right. Freaking No Dog. Milwaukee makes one now. I don't know how I feel about it. I've always had the No Dog or the Maxis, but these go on your hard hat and they help you line up pipe. That's a good tip, bro. Thanks for the explanation. I was looking at Milwaukee laser levels. Knives are a pain in the ass on 8. Yeah. Yeah. Have you tried the Knipex wire stripper pliers combo? 13 8-inch. I'm a wireman in Seattle. I don't think I'll go to client of using them. I might have to look those up. 1372. They go up to number 8 to strip. I have to check those out. Does Knipex make? Am I missing out on something? Does Knipex make pliers with the cross hatching here? Right there? Because you can see these are just like flat. So you don't get any grip. Where you can see these have the cross hatching. I dropped them. What's up, John Applewood? That's a good tip. Nice, nice. Glad I could help. What's your opinion on her hobotricians that use Harbor Freight tools? It depends on what you're doing, man. Harbor Freight used to make ratchet cable cutters for like $40, right? And dude, I abused those things for so long as I could. I kept my receipt, and every time I'd break them, I would just put them on the desk and go get more. And I did it like 4 or 5 times. So that was like the only thing that I ever actually bought from Harbor Freight while I was a construction electrician. I stayed away from Harbor Freight. I feel like some of their stuff now they're coming out with is a lot better than it used to be, but I don't buy any of that crap. I don't know. All I know is what I've used in the past, and it's Klein, some Milwaukee, a lot of Knipex, but the Klein stuff, man, just lasts forever. And I mean, like, I do stupid stuff with my tools. If I can't break them, you're not going to break them. So I just picked up another size of the Knipex here. These are the 7 1/4. It's really hard to beat the Knipex, man. Actually, you can't. They can't be beat, so it doesn't matter. There's no point even saying what comes close. Nothing comes close to these. If you're on the fence of buying pliers, don't be on the fence anymore. These are close to $40-50 each here. These are the 12s, I think. These are the 10s. And then these are the 7 1/4s. When it comes down to what you're doing the most, which would probably be pipe for these grab all the way up to 1 inch. And they're small and they're light. They pretty much fit in your hand. They do everything. So what I used to do, I'd have a pair here like this and a smaller pair always, ready to go. And I'd stick them in my tool bag opposing like this. That way they're always ready to go and start wrenching on whatever you're doing, to start using them. Talk about tactical. Yeah. They're as light as they get. They also don't have any pinch points. You can see here where my finger's right here. Let's use these right here. See where there's no pinch point here. And as we slide up, my finger's not at risk to get pinched. Not very many channel locks have that feature, which comes in really handy. When push comes to shove, when you slip or whatever's happening, man, you'll find that pinch point pretty quick if it's there. Do not buy flashlights from Harbor Freight. I appreciate that, Mark. That's very true. They give them away for free practically. They're so terrible. So we got the Knipex. We started talking about the levels. The vials are very important. Get a checkpoint with a 22. 22 is by far one of the most common bends that you're going to do. The multiplier is 5. Is that right? 2, 2.5. 30 is 2. 10 is 5. Multiplier is 2.5. Sorry. 22 is where it's at, man. Every time that you pull wire through a pipe, that wire has to do the same shape as that pipe as you're pulling it. So when you think about every bend that you make, your wire also has to make that bend as you pull it through the conduit. I never understood why people get flashlights when headlamps are more convenient. Just depends on what you're doing. Some people don't like headlamps. I don't have a choice. My vision is to where I have to shine light at more light to see beyond the glare that I can't see. So I've always had a headlamp. Always, always, always. Coast is what I started with. And now I buy O-Light. The magnetic charging is too good. O-Light's where it's at. I've got a Seeker 4 I can show you guys here in a second. But you want a 30 for sure, and a 22 is underrated when it comes to levels. Checkpoint makes some of the best levels in the world. This Klein is pretty darn good. Milwaukee is coming out with a 4 vial level in 2025. Well, we'll see what it has on it. They're late to the party as far as I'm concerned. They're too late. We needed that a long time ago. Long time ago. This one's kind of cool. I'm going to go get the buddy to it real quick, and I might go grab the other flashlight too. Uh-oh, I don't see the buddy to it. Well, it was there. There it is. These are the Husky. I just spilled my beer. Perfect. It's okay. These are the Husky. Get the Craftsman. See how that protrudes out right there? It's like a free socket. So when you're tightening stretch straps, there's a point in a stretch strap where you have to have some kind of protrusion of a socket. Let me kind of draw it out for you. Local IBEW 429. What's that, man? Stretch straps go like this. Very exaggerated, right? They essentially go like this. They have a square nut on one side, and they have a 3/8 nut on this side. And then they hook on the strut right there. The pipe goes right there. In this space right here, it's very flat and has an angle like this. You need some kind of socket to get over that bolt head right there. A flat wrench is not going to do it. So when I say flat, if you look at this side here, you can see where one side sticks out more than the other. The Craftsman doesn't go flat right here. So your 7/16, your 3/8, your 1/2 inch is like going to be your most common sizes for pipes, for pipe straps, things like that. Your 3/8 here for stretch straps isn't deep enough to be really good. and your 5/16 is. So it's kind of reversed on what's useful. Klein just came out with a wrench set that I made a video about. Man, it got a lot of views on it. Not good for electricians. The new black wrenches from Klein are not good for electricians when it comes to this. Yeah, you need an electrician. Nice. Hang on 2 seconds because I think I spilled more beer than I thought I spilled. Okay, my strippers were thirsty. Not too bad. Okay. So these right here, alcohol abuse. Yeah, man. Always something. It's all right. It can always be worse. I kept saying that at my last house. It could always be worse. And then had to stop saying that. Had to sell my house and restart my whole life again. But anyway, this is what comes with the set. So you get these two at the same time. You wind up with a 9/16 and a 3/4, which is for 1/2-inch hardware here. 1/2-inch bolts, things like that is going to be a 3/4 nut for your all thread. Then your 9/16 is going to be for your 3/8 all thread. Will be 9/16 hardware for all that. So this is really, really useful. If you do a lot of racks, really useful tool here. Underrated, actually. Stripper Grover Chicago. What's going on, man? All right. I had something here. Here it is here. Speaking of racks, man, this is probably one of my most used tools when it comes to building racks. This is the 9/16 from Klein. They've made this for a while now. Has a hex on the bottom, in case you're into that. It is magnetic, which is a nice touch. Got a little magnet ring in there. See if I can bring this over here. It's got a magnet ring in there. And it's got enough depth there to run up your all thread. And of course, it's hollow. It's impact rated. You can see the welds on it. I don't like the new style that they're doing with all these hollow sockets and multiple ratchets and all this crap that they're doing. Been using this for too long for this not to still be viable. This is still what you want. They make a longer one too. This is the PND 9165 from Klein, USA. PND 1965. Sorry. PND 9165. 9165 there. Then of course we got the bigger Knipex. Up to 2.5-inch pipe, I believe. And then you just go with the big ass channel locks. Let's see here. Monkey pliers. These ones aren't even big enough to be monkey pliers yet. And then again, no pinch point. Anywhere. We can slide these down. No pinch point. Trying to cram this stuff in here. As far as tapes, man, I've been using this DeWalt one. I like this DeWalt one. It's got a removable magnet. So if you cut a lot of metal, you'll know that magnets suck because all they do is just collect splinters. The standout on this, off the hop, that's 11 feet right there. If I can roll it for you guys. There you go. That's 11 feet right there. I'm not nice to my tape measures. I still think that Fat Max is probably the way to go. But I do like this DeWalt one. I'd probably still buy Fat Max if it was me. Why don't electricians clean up after themselves? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. We always cleaned up after ourselves, but I work for a really, really reputable company with really, really reputable general contractors. So we always cleaned up after ourselves, but I can't deny it, man, because I'm an electrical inspector and I go to these job sites and they are bad. The other day, there was a bunch of MC rolls just around, and those things are like roller skates if you're not careful. So I don't know. Don't know. Now these are tin snips. And when you're doing metal studs, metal stud walls, anything you're doing with metal studs, you're going to need tin snips. You got to have them. These are the Lennox. I like Lennox a lot, especially for cutting metal. They got a nice comfort. They're very comfortable. Ergonomics on this is off of the scales as far as how nice these are. Your hands are far away from any danger. Metal is obviously really sharp. They cut really nice. I think I've got a metal stud here I could probably cut somewhere here. I got one here. Oh, it's attached. No, we're not going to cut it. They cut the good though. And they're straights, reds and greens, curve, yellows are straight, if you don't know. You got to have tin snips. Commercial. We talked about this. I don't know if I explained it. I think I started answering a question. This is a no dog. So if you're on a hydraulic bender and it's a stable, stationary bender that doesn't move, the only thing that can roll is your pipe. If you level this out, you clamp it onto your pipe, you get it completely level, you go ahead and do your bend, and then you roll the pipe upside down, get it to where you want it to go, and then put this dot exactly level again, and you make your next bend. Your bends are guaranteed to be lined up, and they're not going to be kind of dog-legged. So the trade term for this is called a no dog. And no dog was a brand, had a circle, like, no smoking, had a circle with a line through it with a dog, said no dog. It's actually a T5 in the background, Scott. But yeah, T6, T5, they're all great. I like the style of the no dog. I feel like it was still a lower profile. This seems like extra space. That's just me. Yeah. I like my no dogs. This is something I found too late in my career to enjoy. I use it all the time for side work. I use it all the time for work around my house. I do few job sites anymore. So this is called the Volt Claw. It manipulates wire. It grabs wire. It twists wire. It shoves wire in boxes. Our devices are just getting bigger and deeper, and the boxes are staying the same size. And it's getting even harder to cram all this stuff, especially those special USB plugs and all that stuff. They're really, really deep nowadays. Really helps to have this. If you're working on a circuit that is energized, that you shouldn't be doing hot work, but you are, and you're trying to cram wires back in the box, this gives you a lot of confidence to not be messing up that wire, being a little bit safer. Sometimes it just is what it is, man. You open up an existing box, it's a freaking rat's nest from hell. You're doing your best to get everything back in the box, and you're almost just beating the crap in there. Sometimes you're taking your clients in your foot just to get the crap back in the box, right? This helps out with that tremendously. $17-20, man. I really don't remember. It's all made of nylon, and it's a very nice tool. It's called the Volt Claw. And this is the 2. They make one with open ends and you can twist the wire. This one actually grabs the wire. And I've used this like in real scenarios where the breaker handles are physically broken. I couldn't even turn off the breaker. And then come to find out the breaker was actually welded to the bus of the panel. So even if I did turn off the breaker, it wouldn't matter. I still had to get the wire off of the breaker physically. So I loosened the wire, and that's where this comes into play. This little screwdriver right here has this size. And if you're doing service calls and stuff, maintenance, whatever you're doing, this is really common for a lot of your newer style, smaller breakers. It really gets in there to tighten those wires, but it breaks loose all of your Federals and it breaks loose all of your Zinskos. It's a really, really nice size, and it's 1,000 volt, and you're not stuck with one dedicated tool because you can switch it out to multiple bits. You really can't go wrong with this insulated Klein. But anyway, so I'm literally holding the wire while the breaker's on because I can't even turn the breaker off, and I'm pulling the wire off of the breaker while it's live and arcing with this tool. Really, really good stuff. Now, this is something that I used to have to do. We no longer have to do it anymore. The first time I saw one of these was actually at a flea market called Trader's Village in it's like Grand Prairie, Texas area. And hadn't really seen anything like it before. Obviously, it came from China somewhere. And then 4 or 5, 6 months later, I started seeing them being made by different companies. But they're longer reach. They've been around for years now, but they're longer reach 5/16. So what we used to have to do back in the day was take one of these and then stick a regular nut setter in there and black tape it. And this was like our dedicated Tapcon driver, because when you're trying to get into the back of some of these boxes, you just needed that extra extension. So 5/16 is what you're going to want for these Tapcons. Who makes a better ground, a human or a grounding rod? Well, the grounding rod's going to make a better ground. But either way, if you got electricity going to a ground rod, it's not going to trip the breaker. If it's tied to your neutral, and ground rods usually are, then yeah, you're going to trip the breaker. But as far as what's on my hat, it says Texas on it. I think I got it at Lowe's for $10. Texas, a Lone Star State. Your longer 5/16 are so needed for Tapcons. It's unreal. Man, my moderators will take care of you. Man, you can't have that name, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing? You heard a fart. Am I gonna? No. I'm just gonna own up to it, man. I'm gonna be a man. Yeah, dude. Moderators are gonna take care of you. You got that name in here, man. Way goes our trash. The thing on the hat is a microphone. So if I tap this, you'll be able to hear it more. So then we got our 5/16. Now, what's my thought on these? The simpler these are, the better off you are. Obviously, this one has a 12 to 1,000 and a 70 to 1,000. I think the more buttons you have on these, the more problematic it becomes for construction. And then in general, they're good for helping out when the other trades are looking for power. So as electricians on a commercial job site, we're responsible for the temporary power poles. And you're going to get a call, hey, this guy can't get power on this cord, or this temporary light is out. These are really useful for that. Can't have the name un-American. No, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Is that like what's wrong with Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior? You can't throw curveball. Yeah, electrician. I know a lot of colorblind electricians, man. There's a lot of colorblind electricians. It seems like more than you would think. I know of way too many colorblind electricians. How do your children need this explained to you? Sacrilegious. Yeah. You can't go around with the name Jesus Christ, dude. There's only one. He's not here yet. How do you recommend to run electrical for 10 on the inside of a building? Seems like it would be a pain to cut around all of the outlets to run. Color don't matter. You can't trust the color wires. That's true. That's true. These are to verify the absence of voltage, right? Voltage is already there. It's beeping. Somebody hits the breaker. It stops beeping. You tell them to turn the breaker back on. It starts beeping again. Now we may have found the circuit that we're looking for. That doesn't mean that you can touch. You still need to verify with a multimeter. That's how you use these. These are to justify the presence of voltage, not the absence. So you don't trust these as a safe to touch tool. Tick tracers are unreliable since they don't read actual. Yeah, exactly. How do you recommend to run electrical for 10 on the inside of a building? Seems like it would be a pain to cut around all of the outlets. Oh, like they got corrugated. That is a pain. That's a pain. That's more of a question for like someone that does framing and building to figure out how they're going to cut around them. As far as running it, you're talking about fishing down the wall or just getting electrical on a wall with tin. All of it's no fun, man. It's almost easier to run exposed. You tell the customer you're going to save more than half of your labor running it exposed. You do a lot of 277, 480. Yeah, me too. I know a blind electrical inspector. Skyjack fund, yeah. Conduit and FS boxes, yeah, exactly. Run it exposed. Guys, check out Red Cross and consider making a donation to the hurricane relief. Not a bad idea. I did some work for a Bass Pro Shop and corrugated tin on the walls and ceilings was a pain. Yeah, man, I bet. Did I poo today? Not yet. Haven't pooed yet. Conduit and LVLs. Yo, Tex, I'm in the market for a new impact driver. Would you recommend the DeWalt 860? Ooh. I haven't used it enough to recommend it, man. It's powerful, dude. It's got a lot of power. And speed 3 is very throttleable. Do you answer questions about electrical? Yes. I answer all questions electric, especially code. The 860 is a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of power. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot of bulky, but it's got a lot of power. I feel like it'll probably last a long time too. Let's see here. I saw a few videos broke your heart. What's up, Russ? What's electricity? What's electricity? Science will tell you it's a flow of electrons. I would say it's more like a what would you call electricity? It's a force that's usually invisible that the pressure increases based on the voltage, based on the intensity. It's a potential too, yeah. Let's see here. I know Milwaukee surges suck, and I prefer the M18 Impact. Drivers. Do you rock out? Sometimes. I'm mostly industrial, so code is my weakness. I'm also industrial, man. I do a lot of industrial. Can I explain how three-phase works coming from a power plant? Maybe. Not my strong suit, but we can try. I remind more flex tools since they have lifetime warranty for now, at least. Every tool I bought is quite capable. Every flex tool is capable, man. So what's my current impact then? My favorite current. Yeah, I'm still thinking about the 860 one, man. I like the 860. I'm still thinking. I'm trying to go back to find when that question came in. Hang on. Yeah, Soul says no, man. What are you doing 24 with it? What are you going to be doing? Are you going to what are you doing with it? What's your trade? Less than an amp kills you. 0.30. 0.30 will stop your heart. Try it. 0.10. 0.10 will cause your muscles to spaz out to where you have no control. You can't let go of things, and you drown, depending on the situation. 0.30 can fry it, depending if you get the right whatever you got. Okay. I kind of want to go get the 860 and play with it. Electrical shock is a myth. Yeah. Yeah, milliamps. The 860 is terrible to use. That's what let's see here. Where's the 860? It's in the other room. Let me go grab it. Man, I like the 860, dude. I really do. But it just depends on what you're doing. Do you need it? I got my 840 from Lowe's for like $50 the other day. The 860 is expensive. This is the 860. The 860, if we think about it, I mean, it's fast, dude. It's a beast. It's a fun driver with a really nice light. Like, I like the light. So based on the light alone, The size isn't too big. If we look at the 840, which is here, if we look at the that's the 850. What the hell's the 840? There it is. It's hanging up. If we look at the 840 versus the 860, you can see the size difference. You can see, exactly what you're getting. We can look at the weight for you. I can tell you about the ergonomics. The 860 has a more pronounced bump out on the backside here when you grab it. And it results in, see where this finger is to this portion here? You can see where it's just slightly closer. I'm going to switch real quick so you can see the difference. It's more of a grab. It's got a little bit going for it. When you grab here, it's pretty comfortable up here. It's a bigger grab down here. To squeeze the trigger, you can see the finger wrap around versus the finger here. So you can see where it's a little bit thinner here in the 860. The overall grip, though, I wasn't sure how I felt about it when I first got it, but the more that I use the 860, man, the more I like it. And I don't have any reason not to like it because it is a beast. The mode 2 really was a turnoff because they have the mode 2 for connect tool mode. And I liked my mode 2. Like if we look at the 850 here, the speed 2 on the 850 was still pretty fast. And then speed 1 was like very, very controllable. Where I could take this here in speed 1. You can see where it's going to stop. And then it starts back up. Because it senses that it got a little bit too tight, but then it ramps itself back up. So I'm going to leave my finger on the trigger, and you can see where it starts itself back up. When you use the 860, you lose a little bit of control with speed 1 here. You can already see where it's a little bit faster. Ow! Could have hurt. That could have been bad. That's all my skin left behind. You can't stop speed 1 with your hand. So you lose a little bit of control with the 860. So it just depends on what you're doing. If you're slamming screws in lumber and you're just going to keep this thing on speed 3, dude, it's a beast. It's a beast. It's a beast. It's a great tool. If you're doing anything else, I like the 850 personally versus the 840 even. The 845, I've had too many situations where I pulled the trigger and nothing has happened. I've had it on 3 different impacts. And Tools with Souls has had it on 2 different impacts. The 845 has a trigger issue. When you pull the trigger, light turns on, sometimes nothing happens. It's not that big of a deal. The tool performs great. I would either get the 845 or get the 850. The 850 is a lot shorter, but it is a lot wider. But the 860 is not as wide as the 850. It's hard to make this decision for you. All I can do is just show you in detail the differences. You definitely lose a lot of control with this, but it is a beast. Hard to recommend the 845 when all I have from it is you pull the trigger and nothing happens. I got to catch up with the chat. If you're following the one-hand practice, it's extremely likely that 1 amp at 120 volts will kill you. Extremely unlikely. Yeah, yeah, I don't even know how many amps it takes to create a potential if you're following the one hand rule. Like you can grab live wires with one hand all day. Has battery technology reached its max, or is new technology coming soon? They have some new technology now. This is a tabless battery, and it is pretty cool. A lot of power in here. A great weight. You wouldn't expect this to be so light, being 8 amps. We still need Milwaukee to use some of that technology. Guy electrocuted 480 volt. This is the best live I've seen yet. I appreciate that, Kreb. Bosch announced tablets 2 years ago. Yeah. If I have $1 for every time I took a 120 volt shock. Let me think. How many times have I been shocked? Maybe 30. How many times have I been badly shocked? Probably 3 times. 3 times badly. One time I saw myself get shocked. Out of body experience. Not good. I've been shocked pretty bad. It can happen. 230 volt shocks in Europe, yeah. Oh, you got bootleg grounds, yeah. So these are helpful for certain situations. Joshua Wilson sent me one of these. This one actually the other day. I feel like this thing is so needed now, this pivot, because when you're working on a ceiling fan and you got those last, shroud screws that are up against the ceiling, these get it so good, man, and you can still tighten them. I love these little drivers, and they're super magnetic. When I was a kid, we bet a friend to piss on electric fans, priceless. Yeah, lower amps, electric fans, higher voltage. I feel you. I wish I found this channel sooner. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't advertise electrical. I did for a little bit just to see what would happen. And I put electrical in the title of the channel for a little bit just to experiment. But I wanted to stay true to myself and what I really want to do, because at the end of the day, man, it's all about helping you guys out more than it is about electrical. So if there's like stuff I want to talk about that's maybe politically incorrect, or, you got the tactics in the name. So yeah, I still change it up. Exactly. So I like to be able to go down different avenues where it's not like, hey man, this is supposed to be an electrical channel. It's like, no, dude, it's a tools and it's a tactics channel. The whole thought of this was going to be like sales tactics, explaining to a customer and things like that. And I was like, well, maybe I'll bring, the PPUs in here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe a freedom aspect. But I've got that option. So yeah, I don't advertise that I'm an electrical inspector. I don't advertise anything. A lot of people don't even know that a lot of those videos, Tim the drunk took man, tool man. No. How do you wire handoff auto motor starter with overloads? How do I wire handoff auto motor starter with overloads? Okay. You want a wiring diagram? It's been a long time since I drew a wiring diagram. Let's see here. We need marker. I need this thing to stand up by itself is what I need. That might work. Maybe. So, man, it's been a long time. All right, so we're going to have a start-stop station, right? That's going to be the main stop. And then we're going to have that's our holding contact 2 and 3 here. And then we'd have our motor. And this would be L2. This would be L1. Yeah, you can see that. So this is usually on. Got this backwards here. Hang on. There we go. Got to push that in. And then down here, you're going to have your man. Man, it's been a long time since I did handoff auto. What does it look like? This 3, like this, and one's hand, one's off, one's auto. How do you wire it? Basically, your hand is going to bypass the motor starter. Your auto is going to engage the coil, and your off isn't going to go to anything. It's been too long since I drew one, guys. I have to brush up on that. Schematics was my favorite back in 2008. Where's the wife in your garage? Just curious. That's a solid explanation. You passed. Nice. Nice. I did it. I don't recommend tools. Nothing's wrong with a few beers. Do you get a lot of PLC work? Pew-pews are a good topic as well. Yeah, they are. Do you have an AR? Yes, I do. How to wire enough? Okay, we're back. So, wife's probably doing something with the kids right now. Advice is your mom. Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time since I did schematics. That was 4th year. We got a roto split here. Roto splits are necessary. If you ever wonder where to put your roto split, it's right here. This thing's getting heavy. That's where your roto split goes. Right on the hammer loop. Doesn't even fall out, actually. So if you're commercial and you got metal studs, that's where you put it there. You prefer your snips? I do too. When you work on a larger outfit, man, they're not gonna let you use diagonal cutters. So this is basically AC cable because it's got, this is HCF. So this is the small one. It's healthcare facility cable from Article 517 in the NEC, right? But it's basically AC cable. And it's got this extra redundant ground that's in contact with the back strap. So we have our hot, we have our neutral, we have our ground, and then we have this, which is in contact with the back strap here. Some of this stuff is not easy to cut like you would think. You can see where I'm really bending on this. And it's a little bit more sturdy than your standard MC cable. You can still cut it. with your diagonals. But at a certain point, man, you don't want your helpers, you know, cutting some of this stuff with their diagonals, because, you know, they're just going to jack it up. So a lot of companies will mandate that you're not allowed to use your diagonal cutters on the job. So there you go, no longer sharp. And then if it's required, MC is not required, but you would put your Red Devil or your anti-short bushing or whatever inside there. And then what you're supposed to do for the small one, you bend it back and you wrap it around the corrugate. And then you got to use the special connectors for hospital grade cable based on the installation instructions to install this stuff properly. And what that does is it makes your whole cable itself an equipment ground conductor. And then you put your MCIA, your HCF connector on there, and then you'd be good to go. So redundant grounding is required for medical grade stuff. I'll read you the code. We can look in the 2020. But if we go to Article 517 here, and we look at the very beginning here, talks about the patient bed, wiring methods, right here. Hang on. I will bring you over here. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? I cannot even see. Yeah. There we go. There we go. So, all branch circuits serving patient care spaces shall be provided with an effective ground fault current path by installation in a metal raceway system. The cable having a metallic armor or sheath assembly, the metal raceway system and metallic cable armor or sheath assembly shall itself qualify as an equipment grounding conductor in accordance with 250. 250 is what's considered an equipment ground conductor. And if you look at the patient care vicinity here, you're going to see here it says, let me make sure you guys can see it. It says here, a space within a location intended for the examination and treatment of patients extending 6 feet beyond the normal location of the bed, chair, table, treadmill, or other device that supports the patient during examination and treatment that extends vertically 7 foot 6 inches above the floor. So basically, if you're in a hospital, a dentist's office, optometrist, anything where you have medical, hang on. Why is the device locked here? It says orientation is locked, but I don't know how to unlock it. There we go. Oh, it's stuck sideways now. It's not. Oh, that's not good. Well, that's not good, guys. Okay. Hang on. I don't know how to fix it. Nice shoes. I don't know how I'm going to fix this one. YouTube is it says orientation locked. Can you guys see? Ooh, I can't do anything. Best socks and sandals combo. Yeah, man, these are from Ross, I think. Pretty comfy. Question, anybody else has a problem with armored cable cutters after changing the blade, or is that just me? No, probably just you. They do look comfy. They're not bad. So yeah, so basically, what that means is, let's see here. I need the handbook for pictures. Can you see around? Can you see around to see what else is here? Yeah, I don't care. We got the laundry. We got some wood. We got the garage. Man, this thing is like locked in rotation. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's that's how I got to unlock it for real. I don't know. This phone, man, I dropped it the other day. This is probably the room you guys want to see. I need a handle. No, you don't want me holding this thing. Right now, this phone, YouTube has decided that the orientation is locked. And it's making my screen dark and hard to see the chat. And it just has a little thing up there that says device orientation is locked, and I can barely even read the chat. I see homeowners insurance won't. Oh yeah. I was brought up on ModiCon. We have been upgrading everything to Alan Bradley's. Nice. It's been a huge pain in the butt. The rotation as setting on your phone somehow. Is it in portrait? It's it should be locked live vertical, which is what it is. Color red is awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. So I have no idea what you guys are seeing. If I'm vertical or if it's like wide and weird. Does it look like it's cut out weird? I bet it does. I don't even know where my phone is. I picked these up the other day, and I wasn't too impressed with them. They have a pinch point. It's fine. Appreciate it. Switch to portrait and then back to rotate. Looks normal, though. Okay. How? Is there a limit how many 12-2 wires you can zip tie together? There is. There is a limit. It's called bundling. So, it depends. Are you talking about in a panel? Not really. But in a run, there is. And it would be 4 to 6 current carrying conductors is considered bundled. So if we go to wiring methods, it even talks about where you can't have more than 2 Romexes per board hole. So if we look here, we could look here. Let's see here. But if we go to 310.15 B2A, it'll really talk about it. But it'd be cool to find. It'd be cool to find the conductors all together. Let me skim through here. Should be here somewhere. So we've got one of the following methods. Let's see here. Conductors grouped together right here. Says here, where conductors carrying alternating current are installed in ferrous metal enclosures or ferrous metal race spacers should be arranged to avoid heating the surrounding ferrous metal by induction. To accommodate this, all phase conductors and where used, the grounded conductor and equipment grounded conductor shall be grouped together. That's where it's talking about the grounds and neutrals and the hots all being together, like the neutrals being what cancels out the current or carries the imbalance. You want to keep your neutrals together, but individual conductors where a single conductor carrying alternate current passes through metal. That's for single, so that's not 12.2. Hang on. We are looking for, I'm going to find it here. We'll try one more page and then I'll show you where I know exactly where it is. There's cable tray. Metallic raceways above ground. Let's see here. Yeah, there's actually a rule. It's probably in Romex, honestly. We could go to 334, actually, instead of going to 300. Let's go to 334. And let's see here. I need to show you guys the book. So here's NM. Here's the surface. There's the horizontal holes. Vertical runs. That's supporting. There's a rule where you can't run more than two in a hole. We're going to find it because I should be able to find it. I would have to find it if somebody did it, and I have to call it out for work. So I may as well look for it right now. But there's a rule there, and then also in 310, it definitely calls it out. More than 3 current carrying conductors. So what it says here, the ampacity of each conductor shall be reduced as shown in the table. Where the number of current carrying conductors in a race where a cable exceeds 3, or where single conductors or multi-conductor cables not installed in raceways are installed without maintaining spacing for a continuous length longer than 24 inches, each current carrying conductor of a parallel set of conductors shall be counted as a current carrying conductor. And then if you look at the adjustments here, it talks about where you're going to count it, which would be the conductors, 24 inches there. And if we look here, 310.15, next page, right here, this is where you have more than 3 current carrying conductors. And you can see here 4 to 6 is 80%, 7 to 9 is 70%. So it really just depends on how you're running it. In general, you can bundle Romex together and get away with it. You just can't leave it. You just can't leave it bundled for really long runs, all grouped together like crazy. I can't tell if my phone is trying to die or what's going on. I'm going to unplug this. We're not allowed to have a normal stream, by the way, in case you couldn't figure it out. Just no normal stream allowed. Phone's always got to be dying. Screen's got to get locked for no reason. You know, all that fun stuff. So we're just going to do this. The code book is insane. Man, I wish, let me see, what percentage are we at? Oh, we're at 4%. So Yeah. How many circuits do you need for a small basement bar area? It depends on what you're trying to run. Lighting glasses had some, but not really colored ones. I don't know which ones you're talking about. Is there a limit to how many 12-tube wires you can zip tie together? Yeah, that's what we were talking about there. Mark Zuckerberg. Do you do studying for students? Man, I do this for free for fun. Just a refrigerator and 2 outlets on the countertop. Technically, you could get away with 2 circuits. Fine. You get it with 1 circuit. You should have 2 circuits probably. Technically, you can do it all on 1 circuit because it's not a kitchen. So you can kind of do whatever you want. You probably want 2 circuits though. I do a lot of practice tests for fun. Just I bought a master's electrical test and I bought a journeyman's test. And sometimes we'll just sit on here and just go through code questions for fun. Yeah, you can do just 1 technically. If it's not for a kitchen, then it's not required. It's just a small basement bar area. What tie wraps do I recommend? The tie wrap brand is nice. Anything that's UV rated for outside. But any tie wraps really. But the tie wrap brand, the TYWRAP, with the metal in them is what I like to use. If you're not having it inspected, you can do whatever you want. That's true. That's true. Keep in mind, depending on what kind of bar you're going to have, I'll show you the code first and then we'll go there. So if we look at 210 here, we're going to look at receptacle, outlet location, countertops and work surfaces here specifically. So in kitchen, canning, breakfast rooms, dining rooms, and similar areas of the dwelling, countertop work surfaces shall be installed in accordance. So depending on how, and then you got to go up through here and look at how to do it. If we're looking at work surfaces and you're not going to be, in a kitchen, you would still want to make sure, depending on how it goes, like you might have a cut in the wall, and then this might just be regular wall space, and then that might go to a door, for example. And then you might have, like, let's say you have the couch here and you're just trying to make like a little bar space, and you're just going to put a little countertop here, and you're just going to call this a wet bar, and you're going to add some plugs. You should maintain 4-foot spacing on this countertop. Now, if you're just going to install a bar and it's like something you're going to buy from the store and you're just going to throw it on the side of the wall like a peninsula, that's a different story. We'll see you, Nicole. Appreciate it. It's only 11-foot wall space with fridge on the left. So there's your fridge. And then you got, because 11-foot space, you're going to go all the way across. So if this is 3 feet, the fridge, right? I think the fridge is 3 feet. You're probably going to have like 6 feet of countertop space. You better put 2 receptacles on your bar. Oh, now you got a sink. So when you have a sink, you probably might not have. Are you gonna have 12 inches of space in between the sink and the edge of the? Are you putting the sink pretty close? Yeah, because then you're only gonna have like 3 feet of space over here. You could probably get away with one plug on that. I would pass that. I'd pass it with one plug on that. Now, if it was a kitchen, we got to have receptacles within 2 feet when we break up the countertop. So if this was a kitchen, you would have to have a receptacle within 2 feet go in that direction. And then you'd have to maintain your 4-foot spacing afterwards. So you'd have another within 2 feet, have your receptacle. And then we would need receptacles every 4 feet. But it's not a kitchen. You're doing 2 to the right of the sink. Yeah, so you'll be good to go. It technically can all be on one circuit. And even if this was a kitchen, you can put that fridge on the same damn circuit as your countertop. Because if we look at the no other outlets means no other outlets, right? But if we look at no other outlets, it says the two or more small appliance branch circuits specified shall have no other outlets. And the specified outlets is for your kitchen countertops. This exception right here says, where is it here? Receptacles provide power for supplemental lighting in gas-fired ranges. Should say something about refrigeration equipment in here. I'm actually not seeing the refrigeration equipment here. Hang on a second. Supplemental gas lighting. Kitchen receptacles. There should be an exception for refrigeration equipment specifically in here. Huh. I'll have to find that for you. You can have the fridge though on the same circuit. There's a small appliance right there. There it is right there. I found it. It says here, all countertop outlets covered under T1050 GC and the receptacle outlets for refrigeration equipment. Right there. So you can put it on. You can put your refrigeration equipment on with your small appliance branch circuits. Radiohead's good, man. Not something I listen to a whole bunch. I listen to a lot of stuff that YouTube doesn't like you to listen to. Listen to Webby, Dax, Tom McDonald, Burden, Tyson James, things like that. Stuff you guys aren't allowed to know about. Why would an inspector fail a UL listed junction box? It depends on what they did with the junction box. What's it UL listed for? UL listed is just a UL is an entity that lists stuff. Just like this one was listed by this is not listed. This is not listed. Hang on, let me find something that's listed. ETL. Intertech. So this is listed for use for whatever it's listed for, right? If you put a bell box on its back and you face it up, it's no longer listed to be installed in that manner. It loses its waterproof capabilities when you install a bell box facing up. You can only install them on their side. So it just depends on how the box is installed. Yeah, I got a stud buddy. I've also got I got something else too. I got a stud ball. I don't know where it is though. I'm gonna find it. No, no Wallabat. I never trust a tick. I don't trust a tick either. You see the stud finder? Oh yeah. Yeah, this thing hanging a lot of shells and stuff around the house. There's a stud right here. And then we got paneling and all kinds of stuff on the wall. So we can put it in deep scan mode. You can see where it's trying to light up, but it's not really lighting up. It's not really committing. You can see where it wants to. And there's one there. It's finding that one. It's okay. These are good before you cut, man. You want to know all your margins before you start cutting. It's not going to work good on paneling and all these nails and stuff. Detroit, what's up, man? Hello, I don't know who you are, but I want to tell you that you're an incredible person. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Never give up on your dreams. I know your hard work will pay off. Man, I appreciate that. It goes to all of you. All right, guys, we got to get off of here. This phone is trying to die. It's giving me technical difficulties. We got 4% battery. That's about all I got. But, yeah, we'll talk about all this stuff later. We pretty much hit all the main tools for a commercial electrician. And then, of course, they go inside of this bag. And pack outs are good, man, but when stairs are involved and all the above, you're better off having something that you can move around. You're going to throw this in the gang box once you get to the job site. Hard to beat this one. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Oh, nice. Certainly do basement remodeling. Nice, nice. All right, we'll see you guys later.